something pretty nice. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get my man on board. Like I said, this is none other than Grammy-nominated producer and 8-time representative, Mr. Jeron Ward. Let's go and get him on board. Jeron, you there, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm right here, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm actually, I literally just walked out the office up here at MTV. I'm in New York right now, man.
Okay, cool, man. How's New York treating you, man?
Man, I love it. I actually made the transition up here, man. I moved up here like a week ago.
Really? Okay. Wow. All right. Got you. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Man.
So where are you at exactly? Where are you at?
I'm on the Upper East Side, man. But you know me, man. I'm all around, just making moves, making connections. You know, New York is really the hub of the entertainment world, or one of the hubs of the entertainment world. So, man, it's one thing to do business in Atlanta, man. Where you really want to get down to it, you got to take that trip to either New York or LA. So we're up here spreading the word about the flush, expanding the business, and doing what we got to do up here, man.
I hear you on that, man. Well, listen, man, we want to say, we really appreciate you for getting on the show here on the Brandon Watlington Show, for taking out time out of your busy schedule. Like I said, it's. Let me tell you this right now, because it's interesting, because back in the day, I had no clue, no idea that you were into music like this. You know, and it's just like wow, he's out here producing now. I was like, and he's killing it. All right, cool. So for anybody, like I said, when did all this start?
Well, me personally, man, one of my code of business, man, is to do a lot less talking, a lot more acting, a lot more doing. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the reason why I don't really do a whole lot of talking about it. I just go out there and I just make results, and I make things happen, man, and I let that do the talking for me, But I got involved in music when I was about 8 years old, man. My dad was actually practicing to learn the piano. So, me being a little kid hanging around my pops, I would pick up little things like scales and, the real fundamentals of music, not just piano, but just of music. And then it kind of set with me. I went on in life, we used to hoop and play basketball all day. That was my thing. But, once I got into high school, man, I rediscovered music. At Stevenson High School, they had a studio there, a studio program where I got involved, and I started learning, man. And really from there, man, the rest is history. I had a teacher by the name of Kelly Walton, and she just opened up my whole eyes and my mind to the possibilities of having a career, doing something that you love and something that you enjoy. And for me, that has always been music. So that's kind of where things laid its course, man. And from there, like I said, the rest is history.
All right, there it is. And you talk about hooping. Let me tell you this right now. I don't know if he still plays basketball now, but actually, Jeron actually had a pretty decent jump shot.
Man,
he actually had a pretty decent jump shot for a while, man. There used to be some nice little battles out there back in the day. But like I said, obviously, you're out here doing your thing now. Now, obviously, you said that your father, was very, you saw examples from your father as far as music is concerned. Who else were some of your musical influences that growing up, you said, I want to be like this person, or, I really like the sound that this person has right here?
Yeah, well, my primary influence as a producer would be Quincy Jones, man. He's somebody that I've always looked up to and admired for his intellect when it comes to music, and his musicianship as well too. So he's definitely one of the primary ones. But my influences range, man. I listen to so many different types of music, and I appreciate so many different types of genres and interpretations of music that it can go from Pink Floyd to the Rolling Stones to the Beatles, even to Jay-Z to Outkast, Organized Noise, Prince. I really make an effort to follow the greats. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where I want to position myself. So I think in life, the best way to become great is to study those who are great. So that's kind of my, personal way that I live my life, and that's also how I praise my music as well too.
All right, there we are. Now you said Prince, and like I said, you were just playing Mama Told Me from Big Boy, and I was, like I said, we got a couple of emails from a couple of people that were trying to figure out who that came from, and all the answers were terribly wrong. But I know that one, and that is from Prince Automatic off the 1982 album 1999. Now, obviously, you said Prince. Now, since you know about this song, I can feel like I can talk to you a little bit more about Prince more so in depth. What is your favorite Prince album?
Oh, man, it has to be Purple Rain.
Purple Rain, there it is.
That's what actually inspired Mama Told Me, man. I was actually literally at home watching Purple Rain one day, and I received a lot of inspiration and just musical inspiration from videos and movies and stuff like that as well, too. So I had a phase where I was just watching that movie, like, constantly, like, day after day, just for the music, for the cinematography of it, and just the vibe in general, man. And then, I turned the movie off, and I turned right around, and I started working on the beat. And actually, the cool thing is that in that song, there is actually no sample, man. We replayed the drums sound exactly like the record did. You know what I mean? So
wow.
Even when it comes to like the clearance process, there was no sample involved. It was definitely inspired by Prince, but there's literally we didn't engage any sample into the actual record, but it sounds exactly like the track. You know what I mean? So.
Man, I'm so sincere when I say that, man. It's that is so dead on. Like that. I mean, I have the whole Lynn drum set. I mean, that's actually on it for real. So little no white history fact right there. All original.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. All right. Well, that's what's up. Now, tell me a little bit about. Like I said, obviously, you've been in music for quite some time. The first time that you actually got a chance to actually meet Outkast, and actually they were like, Big Boy was like, you know what, let's see what you got. What was the pressure? Was there any pressure when you first started out with that, or were you like, you know what, I'm gonna go in here, I'm just gonna kill it?
Well, I got involved into the whole Outkast Dungeon Family arena through an internship, man. I was at Georgia State, and I was working my way through college, and I got a rare opportunity to get in contact with Tamika Hope, and she was a publicist for Big Boy at the time. So she brought me in, and I was interning for her. And I literally remember the first time that I met Big Boy. I met Big Boy and Andre 3000 separately. I was in the office with Tamiko, and Big just showed up, and he walked into the office. Man, I immediately stood up and shook his hand. I was like, man, it's an honor to meet you. You know what I mean? I wasn't even really starstruck, but it was just that respect factor. You know what I mean? Because he's somebody who was always inspired me musically. And I feel like I wouldn't be where I am today had he not laid the foundation for Atlanta hip-hop and Atlanta music in general. I couldn't have the access to the network that I do now had it not been for him. So I just really was adamant about paying him respect. So that was the first time I met Big Boy. I met 3000. I was actually walking into the same office, and he was just there, out of nowhere. And I almost didn't even recognize him. He had his hat on and these glasses, real low key, real inconspicuous. You know what I'm saying? And I walked past him when I didn't realize him. Yeah, it's 3000. I mean, he is how you think he is. You know what I mean? So I walked in and I shook his hand. I was like, man, what's up, man? I'm Jeron. I introduced myself. And the cool thing about Dre, man, is ever since that day, he's always remembered me. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that because he's definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite rapper of our generation. And I think, in general of all time, man, he'll definitely go down as one of the greats. But just to know that he always took the time to remember me as a person, as an individual, that stuck with me a long way. And it even stands to this day, man. Whenever we see each other, it's all love and respect.
All right, cool. Now, tell me a little bit about, obviously you're one half of the production team, The Flush, a.k.a. Royal Flush, however, depending on who you speak to. But how did this come about? How did you and Rick Walt get together and were like, hey, let's make this thing happen?
Well, I met Rick through the internship. Rick was actually involved at Purple Ribbon in Stankonia because he's actually related to Big Boy. So he was working on production up there. And we took a trip. He was actually in the process of casting some models for the Ottawa Blues video. If you go back and research that video, I'm actually in that video. It's super, 2 seconds, you know what I mean? But it's real low key, but I'm actually in the video, you know what I mean? But me and Rick linked up and we flew out to LA. We took 7-8 different models with us. And we did the video with Andre 3000. So that was our first working experience together. And as soon as we got back to Atlanta from that trip, he was in the studio. I ended up going over there to meet him. And he was working on a beat, you know what I mean? And he didn't even know that I did music either because I've always been pretty low-key about it. Again, I let my work do the talking for me. So he was working on a record. I walked in and I jumped on the keys. I was like, yo, man, you mind if I put something on here? You know what I mean? I started playing the keys like, man, I didn't even know you did all that, bro. What is that? You know what I mean? You've been holding out. I was like, my bad, but hey, it's here. You know what I mean? Let's work. You know what I mean? So then after that, it's just kind of the rest was history. We just kind of kept the ball rolling, and we just identified a common interest in the goals that we're trying to achieve. So I'm always a team player. You know what I mean? So I feel like two can conquer more than just one person by themselves. And where there's a common interest amongst like-minded minds, there's a lot more that you can accomplish as well too. So that led to the development of what we have today called The Flush. So that's kind of how everything got started.
All right. Now, as obviously, like I said, you work with so many different artists. What is it? Now, I feel like music always has a purpose, and for something more so than just making you move. I think this serves a higher purpose. When it's all said and done, what do you want people to remember about what you've accomplished as a producer and just as a musician overall?
And what I really want people to remember about myself and about my team, man, is that we come in the name of quality music. You know what I mean? Like, we never stopped. We never gave up. We always worked our hardest to present the music and present ourselves at the highest quality and aesthetic value as possible. You know what I mean? I really want people to pay attention to the fact that we love what we do, and it's genuine. You know what I mean? Like, we're not out here looking for the quick dollar. We're actually out here to build a foundation for ourselves and our families, and then even open up gateways and doors for the artists and musicians that are coming behind us, so that, you know, their job might be a little bit easier because we took the time to go the road less traveled and not go the quick route and actually do something that can stand the test of time. You know what I mean? So I hope people get that. I hope people see that. You know what I mean? But I also know that there's a lot of work ahead of us as well too. So we're never in this for the short run. We're in this to do this until the day we die, man. So that's the legacy that I hope that we're blessed to leave behind. It's just quality and good music, man, good fun music that inspires people to be happy and leaves good seeds around the earth instead of any negative energy. You know what I mean? Like, we just want to be the heirs to bring forth positive energy throughout the world, man, and make people smile, man, and have a good time. You know what I mean? That's what music is really supposed to be about. So that's what we hope to one day achieve as far as our legacy is concerned.
There it is. You heard it from the source, Jeron Ward. If you're just now tuning in, this is the Brandon Watlington Show. We are live on the air with music producer Jeron Ward, half of The Flush. And you said quality music, and like I said, I've had a chance to check out your music for quite some time, and the quality of it is superb, and it's a fun feel to it, and as of late, you really you found a nice way of really paying tribute and respect to the early 90s, mid to late 90s, without making it sound old, but it still sounds fresh, and you've done it with this new artist named Spree Wilson. Tell me a little bit about Spree Wilson and the stuff that you've done with him.
Yeah, man. Well, Spree is, like I said, he's a great musician. He's actually extremely talented guitar player. He's a great songwriter, and he's just a great artist. And the thing that I found in Spree is that we have that common interest where we really care about our presentation of our music, because we consider it art. You know what I mean? Like, beyond just being a musician, he's actually like an artist. You know what I mean? Like, so he might not necessarily paint pictures, but the way that he does paint his pictures is through music and through words. So myself and my partner Dreamer, was also part of The Flush, we ended up taking a trip out to New York literally like a year ago to today. I think it was like June. Well, it was a little bit longer than a year, but June, right around my birthday, June 20th or so. We came out here, took a trip, and Spree hit me up, and he had the idea to do. He's like, man, he called me one day out the blue, like, bro, what if we did like a 90s bass project, but just made it current for today? You know what I mean? And just that idea just sparked so many thoughts and ideas in my head. So I went back and started researching. So I looked up all the Kilo records, you know what I mean, Writing the Dream, So Dev, right, Organized Noise, Organized Bass, you know what I mean. I really just immersed myself in the music to understand what the cadences were, how the drums were set up, you know. And what we found about that time period is that those were actually really great songs, man. Like, they had structure to it. Like, there was hooks, there was bridges, there was pre-hooks. You know what I mean, it was a fun party record, but there was quality behind it as well, too. So that was the foundation that we followed when it came to creating Life in Technicolor. You know what I mean? So even if you listen to the project, like, each song has a bridge, each song has a pre-hook. You know what I mean? Like, there's very strong choruses and hooks, and the lyrics are very not only catchy, but they're also impactful and insightful as well too. So that's where we really made an effort to put in the quality based on studying what we saw from the 90s. So it was just our job to make it current for today, and it looks like we did a pretty good job, man, because the public has been responding really great to it, and it sounds phenomenal, man. Like, I'm super happy with the way that it turned out.
That's what's up, man. And you know what? I can definitely agree on the quality. But let's go ahead. We're going to premiere this song right now. It's Spree Wilson. But listen, I'm going to actually let you introduce it, and I'm going to let you drop your song that you got right here. Your opportunity right now, man.
Okay, cool. Yo, this is Jeron Ward with The Flush. Right now, you're about to check out Right One Wrong Time, featuring my partner Spree Wilson, also with The Flush, man. Summertime, ATL bass music, fun, love it. Have a good time listening to it, man. Enjoy The Flush.
My man, Jeron, listen, man, good talking to you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, man, peace.
All right, peace.
girl come and took my hand, walked me out on that dance floor. Wow,